Hello everyone, welcome to the next video of the Dapper series. In this video, we will learn about the state management building block of the Dapper. But before learning the building block state management, I will explain or I will break this video in some parts where we will learn few things before that, like which NuGet packages are required and what are the configurations or what are the middleware we need to add in case of the our program.cs file. Then we will see the Dapper code. To speed up this video, I have already developed the one application in which I have used the Dapper classes code, so I will explain that, and as well as we will see the command, and we will see what is sidecar which we are using in it, then YAML configuration files, and we will hit everything using the Postman. Then I will explain the actual after explaining everything, so I will explain in the end the role of the Dapper sidecar. Then before that we need the running Redis instance for it, because we are going to store our state inside the Redis. So let's switch to the Visual Studio. First of all, we need to add dapper.asp.NET Core, that is the required NuGet package to use the classes or libraries of the Dapper. So this is the required dapper.asp.NET Core. I have installed its latest stable version, which is 1.10. when I'm creating this particular video. By recording this video, the latest stable version is 1.10. After adding this particular library from the NuGet, we need to add the Dapper integration over the MVC or the Web API controllers. So here we can add it like this way: add controller, then over add the integration of add Dapper. So it will provide us classes which we can get using the dependency inject inside the controllers related to the Dapper. So we can get the Dapper object, and using that we can make the use of Dapper classes. So now let's so far only one change: we have added the Dapper NuGet package, then we have added the Dapper integration here, and after that we are using the dependency inject inside the controller. We are getting the Dapper client object. So we have the web applications, right? We are developing the web application. There is not much change from that. We are just added few things. Now I will use this Dapper client to state my store inside the Redis. So here I am using Dapper client, and then its object, its method, that is save state async. It will state my particular key and value inside the state store. So before the state store, what is state session? State session is user defined class. It has two properties, key and value, which I am using to get the value from the browser using the post method, right? So in the body I will get this particular object, and from that I am getting key and value. So here comes the state store. Now what is state store? So before explaining this particular state store, this can be anything. Maybe here I can use ABC. So this is some unique name which we are providing here and also providing in our configuration files. So before explaining this, I would like to add the points about the YAML files. So YAML are the configuration files. Here I will open the XAML file. So this is the state store.xaml file, and I will refer this file as the configuration XAML file or configuration file. In this file I have some syntax in which I am explaining that this particular configuration contains the state store. Now this state store, whatever written here, should match with the name here. So if I'm using here ABC, in that case here should be ABC. In that case it's like a connection string. When we are picking, multiple connection strings are defined inside our app setting or inside the web.config file. In that case, using that particular key, we were getting some key values. So here using that particular unique name, we are our application will pick this particular configuration. That's why whatever name used here, it should be used here. Now using this state store, I'm saying that type is state.redis. So this is the predefined keyword. It's saying that for the state management, I will use the state.redis, means I will use Redis. If I will say state dot let's say I'm saying state dot aws dot something like sqs, in that case I'm going to use sqs. So like that we think we can use different things, right? If I will say here SQL server, so in that case it means to manage my state I will use source means database or target as this SQL server. But instead of explaining these things, now I am using the here Redis, right? And its version is v1. Then there are some metadata related to this particular service here Redis. So Redis is hosted on this particular port, and Redis password is empty, active state store is true. If you already gone through my previous videos, you have seen that when we run the dapper init command, it will download some particular images from the Docker. It was connecting to the Docker hub and initializing some containers. So at that time, by default, it has already initialized this particular Redis service, as well as the configuration file we can find here. Like in the last videos, we have copied from the Ubuntu to our window, which we can find here in the dapper folder, right? Inside the components we can find the state store. So this state store is that is the default configuration provided by dapper. We can use our own services or anything. I will explain that as well. Now here this is the configuration, right? So now to explain further about the code, here what I'm using, I'm saying to the state store, means in the save state sync I'm saying pick the state store from here, and in this state store store the this particular key with this value. And then I have one get method in which I'm saying from this particular state store I am passing the key name. For this key, get the value and convert it to string and return it to me. So this is just one line code when we are using the dapper class or dapper client for the state management. So might be now you have little idea about the XAML files. So these are just configuration files. Let's say I don't want to store everything inside the Redis. I want to store in the SQL server. So what I will do? So in that case, I will just replace everything with the SQL server. Now here I have used the same name, state store, and but here I am defined as state.sql server. Then provided the metadata about the SQL server. What will be the connection string and table name, key column, then value column, right? And when I will execute the code, I have no need to make any changes inside my C# code here. So it will automatically from the Redis, it will redirect to now SQL server, and it will save my state inside the SQL server. So that is the one of the powerful feature of the dapper, that it removing the dependencies. Means instead of writing the code for SQL server and writing the code for Redis, it has removed the dependencies of that code or that SDK or classes of Redis and SQL server. It has used their own classes. Now only with the change of configuration I can just switch to another end service or means like a service provider. Instead of Redis I can use the SQL server. Let me undo it. Okay, now there is one command which I am going to use here, that is this particular command. So this command is saying dapper run, means run the dapper application. App ID, I am giving this particular application as my API. I can provide any name, like I can say service, or I can say like user service, something like that, right? But I will give it name as my API. We can give any meaningful name here. So this is the app port on which application will run. It will run on 5239. We can copy this particular port from the launch setting.json file from here as well, right? And then I'm saying dapper HTTP port. So this dapper HTTP port means this is the port of Sidecar. So Sidecar is one of the key technology, or dapper is using that particular pattern to manage all these things using the Sidecar. whenever we are running any application which is using dapper.net, in that case we are also launching the sidecar of that dapper, and every request to our application will come via dapper sidecar. And then we are saying .net run. It means run the application along with the sidecar. Now this is the particular command. Might be you get confused here little bit about the sidecar. In the end of video I will explain the role of sidecar. Now let's copy this particular command. Let's run the application. To run the application using this command, we can use package manager console, or just we need to jump to the location where CS pros file is present. So my CS pros file present at this location, so I'm saying I am opening here command prompt and running this particular command. Okay, so here when I run the command, we can see that there is one init component failure. So it means I'm getting here initialize error occurred for pubsub. So pubsub.redis is not initialized. So what is that? Okay, because my Docker is not running, my Redis is not running, that's why it is giving me this particular error and my application is getting down. So let's first run the Docker. Because we are whenever we are running this particular command. Okay, let me add one more point here. Whenever we are running this particular command, each Dapper application will go to this default location, that is inside the C drive at this particular Dapper location, and inside the components it will read all the XAML files and try to make the connection. Now inside this state store we have defined the Redis, but Redis is not service is not running because Docker is down. Let's so I will run that particular Redis container, and after that we will rerun the application. I will pause video here and I will run the Redis and then we'll come back. Okay, now I have started the Docker. Now you can see here this particular Redis component container for Redis is working, and its Redis service is working on 6379 port. Okay, so now let's rerun our application. Now my application is working. Now, right, we have didn't get any connection timeout or component initialize error. Now my application is running, and it is running on this particular 5239 port. See here we are getting like application discovered on port this, and app ID is my API whatever I have provided. Let's open this particular API. Okay, now I can see my API is running here. I will open the Postman, and using the Postman I will make the hit to my application. Okay, and so I have already created one collection and added post and get methods. So here to the 5239 inside the API state management and save state, I am going to hit this particular action method of statement controller. So save state, and it is taking key and value object of state session object. So inside the body I'm passing this JSON object here with the properties key and value. Let's say I will hit it. Now I'm getting the 200 OK response. Okay, let me pass another value here, one more. Okay, now I will click get state. It means now I have added two status there, right? Now first I will retrieve this particular using the get state to see here I'm getting the response. Now this all when I save the value, it gets stored inside the Redis. Now I'm getting the values from the Redis using this particular coding. Here I'm saying from this particular state store return the value for this particular key. Here key is passed here, username to inside the URL, and I'm getting the value. I try to say one more. Let me check. Okay, no content found because I didn't hit here. Okay, now let me click here. See, now 200. Okay, key is saved. Let me try now. I'm getting the response here. Now let me try again another one. So here I am getting the value. So using this way we can use the state management. Now what is the benefit of state management? Like in case of the web APIs, these are the stateless, right? We could not manage the sessions. In that case, either we need to manage the session each time we are sending our data in the form of payload inside the tokens, and then getting the token, from the token we are getting the payload, right? Or we are using inside the cookies. So but that is like a complex project for the distributed application, when our application is deployed on different servers, like in case of the microservices. So to resolve that, state management of the Dapper application or the Dapper framework is one of the powerful feature, because in that case we can provide this particular state store configuration at one particular location, and all the services running on different servers, they will store the state at common place, right? So here might be someone ask the question, in that case we can use one, if we are going to use the Redis without Dapper, we can just write the Redis code. But in that case, but here Dapper provide another powerful feature, that we have no need to change the coding. If in the future instead of Redis we are going to use SQL Server or any cloud services, in that case we will just change the XAML file configuration, but we will not change any code. Or we can use multiple state store as well, right? Okay, now I will show one more thing that is related to sidecar. Whenever we are launching our application, we have launched using one more port, that is this 3500. So in that case, one sidecar is running along with my application on this particular port. Now I will hit this particular port directly and will get this particular state. So here I am hitting the sidecar of the Dapper application on the version 1, and then I'm saying to my sidecar I need to invoke my API. So my API I have provided here, that my API is the app ID using which I am discovering my service. Then I am saying the method is API state management get state. Here I am passing full attribute and then the key name. Now I am getting the proper value here using the sidecar as well. So the role of sidecar is that whenever any hit to my application is coming, it will come by a sidecar. Actually sidecar playing the role behind the scene. Whenever I am saying get state, from here I am passing this particular value, but as this is running using the Dapper commands, so in that case request will be bypassed to this, and using this particular sidecar it will return the value and it will hand over to this particular URL. The benefit of using the sidecar is that Dapper applications can work with the gRPC port. These can work with the gRPC protocol, then HTTP protocol. So on multiple protocol these can work only because of the sidecar. So might be now you have little idea about this sidecar, why the applications are also parallelly launching these sidecar. You can read about more about the sidecar on their website. So they are the Dapper docs where we can read about the this particular state management and other building blocks, and also about the sidecar. So this is the link about sidecar. I will provide this particular URL inside the video description, from where you can copy and can read about a sidecar on their official website. So like they have shown, my application is running here, but every request will come to this particular application, either it's through Dapper port or either it's through the application port. It will bypass always through the Dapper sidecar, which is running parallel to my application. Dapper always use the sidecar pattern. Okay, now we have covered what we have covered. We have seen what is state management. We have seen that Dapper.ASP.NET Core, NuGet package is required. Then inside the program.cs we need to add .add dapper, then dapper code we have seen, right? Dapper command, XAML file, and using the postman we have make the hit. Now this video is a little bit long, but in the upcoming videos now that will be fast, because few part we will skip, like regarding XAML files and other things. I think that's all in this video. If anyone have any question or any doubt about anything, you can comment inside, you can comment under the videos. I will try to respond on that. In the next video we will cover service to service invocation, and then in upcoming videos we will cover secret management as well as PubSub applications. That's all in this video. Thank you. Please subscribe the channel, share the video.